doing that work. Today, I would like to dig into the discussion around the decision to vote for the Green Party in 2020 in the presidential general election on November 3rd. Progressives are split between the Democratic reform movement led by Bernie and the Progressive Caucus, who are supporting Biden, and leftists, who are themselves split between voting for Biden, voting Green or other third party, or not voting for president at all. Those supporting Biden say we have to do it to stop Trump to continue his fascist authoritarian takeover. Those supporting other candidates or not voting have many reasons, but are hearing all kinds of criticism over it. Is this criticism justified? Or should Biden supporters reevaluate their decision? Post your opinion in the comments. I tweeted this in support of the Hawkins Walker 2020 campaign recently, and it's got almost 10,000 views. Quote, I don't know who needs to hear this, but there's a presidential ticket you can vote for in 2020 that you don't have to feel guilty about or struggle to justify having to settle for. Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker with both the Green Party and Socialist Party nominations. And this was in response to a tweet by Angela Walker. Talking policy platform. I've had other posts about the Green Party get numbers too, and I've seen a lot of informal polls and leftist discussion online also showing strong support for the Green campaign. You might say that's just my leftist political bubble, and that's true, but I've supported Green candidates for president every 4 years since 2004, and I haven't seen this much enthusiasm before. Just personal anecdote there. There's clearly a real frustration, though, with the Democratic Party. And after so many of us got caught up in supporting the Dems with Bernie's 2016 and 2020 campaigns, only to run up against the brick wall of corruption and capitalist money and undemocratic primary elections, there's just more people than ever that believe we need a new party. However, we live in a system which is structured to enforce the two-party capitalist duopoly, and many people think voting Green is a wasted vote or a vote for Trump. That is, of course, Bernie's current position. All of us on the left can agree that Trump is terrible and we want to vote against him. Here's a clip from Howie titled, How Are You Going to Vote Against Trump?
Both these politicians, both these major parties represent the corporate elite in this country. And until, we start voting for what we want, we're never going to get it. So the question is, how are you going to vote against Trump? You vote for Biden and you want Medicare for all? You want a real Green New Deal? He's against those things. You just voted against what you want. Everybody knows what the Green ticket stands for. We do stand for Medicare for all and a Green New Deal and an economic Bill of Rights and peace initiatives to get us back from the brink of nuclear war. And if you want that, if you don't vote for it, you're certainly not going to get it from Biden. You vote for Biden, you get lost in the sauce. They don't know you want Medicare for all and a full-strength Green New Deal. You voted for Joe Biden, and he's against those things. So that's what I would say to people. You don't have to vote for Biden to vote against Trump. We'll fight Trump better than the Democrats do.
And that is from the Howie Hawkins YouTube page. The oligarchs control America under the Trump presidency, and the oligarchs control America under a Biden presidency. If Biden wins, it may be because the ruling class feels they can make more money in that case. Either way, we'll need to be organizing a strong and united left to combat capitalism and fascism. Voting Green contributes to that effort. Howie said recently, quote, the way to have some leverage is to support what you want and make the politicians come to you. I agree with that, and I'd say to folks who want to push Biden left, if he wins, that I'm with you. I just think we can accomplish that by building up the Green Party and other leftist organizing outside of the Democratic Party. The Black Lives Matter movement started under Obama. Now it's grown into a cultural and political revolution, as we see people rising up against police brutality and white supremacy nationwide. Meanwhile, the Democrats gave us a nominee who is a key architect of the white supremacist mass incarceration system, and a vice president who is a self-described top cop, who locked up thousands of people in the racist drug war, and even parents for their kids missing school. Biden said he would not defund the police. In fact, he would give them more money. Here's a tweet from Jordan Ewell yesterday. Quote, Biden's comments last week about Trump wanting to defund the police wasn't just a gaffe. It's now a talking point for campaign surrogates. Biden's campaign is leaning into the idea that we need more funding for police programs. Here's what the campaign is telling people to say. Quote, Donald Trump is the only candidate in this race who has ever sought to defund the police. Every single year he's been in office, Trump has tried to cut cops' funding. Joe Biden wants to boost cops' funding by hundreds of millions of dollars in order to provide departments with the resources they need for community policing and to execute critical reforms. So you can see that a vote for Biden is voting for hundreds of millions, in their own words, in additional funding for the police that are violently oppressing the people of America. So if you vote for Biden, that's what you're voting for. Here's an article in Black Agenda Report titled, Biden's Philly Headquarters Rents a Fence to Stop the Poor People's Army, by Ann Garrison, and this was posted on August 19th. Sherry Honkala tells Ann Garrison that the Biden campaign headquarters threw up a rent-a-fence when they heard the Poor People's Army was coming. And Sherry Honkala is, of course, a former Green Party vice presidential candidate. And you should take a look at the link to read that whole interview, because it's very interesting. But the reason that I bring it up is that the Hawkins Walker Green Party campaign was there, and you can see Howie Hawkins there in the middle with the green shirt, right in that protest, not as a campaign, not making it about himself, but just joining in support of the Poor People's Army march, and being locked out from Biden's headquarters by a temporary fence they put up instead of talking to these folks. So that just goes to show, which side of that situation do you want to be on? Are you with the poor people? Are you with the protesters? Are you with the people? Or are you on the other side of those fences with the police and Joe Biden? This is a tweet from Angela Walker from August 21st. Quote, those of us on the left who vote outside the corporate party monolith aren't going anywhere. The fault lines are widening. We will keep pushing until the monolith falls. Stay mad. Peace. Green 2020. Hashtag socialists, black comrades, and we out here. So, echo those sentiments there. And I'll end this segment with this ad for the Hawkins Walker 2020 campaign posted on August 19th, titled For Our Future.
Joe Biden opposes the progressive reforms that Bernie Sanders advocated. He said he would veto Medicare for all. So I'm inviting Bernie Sanders supporters to join our campaign tonight. We are going to keep fighting for these progressive reforms through the November election and beyond. The fight for a socialist transformation is more critical than ever now. because we face this COVID-19 crisis. Voters are left with a miserable choice between the major party candidates: Donald Trump, the racist incompetent, and Joe Biden, the neoliberal hawk. To settle for Biden as the lesser evil is to join the opposition of the corporate establishment to Medicare for all, a full-strength Green New Deal, and an economic bill of rights to end poverty and economic despair. So here's what I'm asking you to do tonight. Go to HowieHawkins.us, our campaign website, and join with us to continue the fight for socialist solutions through the November election and beyond. Let's keep the revolution alive. Let's fight for our future.
And again, that can be found on the Howie Hawkins YouTube page, which is linked below. So you could consider that sort of part one, because we will certainly have to revisit this discussion as we move toward the November election. So I would love to hear your opinion. If you agree, if you disagree with me, I would love to hear why. You're welcome to add to the debate and discussion around this issue, and I will revisit this topic going forward.